Here it comes, yeah. And then when they go up to 100 and you lift off the pad, you almost don't even notice it. It's so calm.
Okay. And I mean, it's a long day. You wake up early, you're sitting in the rocket, and how did it feel to finally get there, get the hatch open, and swim into the space station for the first time? Is it kind of like a relief, or are you just too tired at that point where you're just like everything's gravy?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. For me, I was feeling a little awkward. I felt a little sick. I didn't know how to float. These guys, it'll be a totally different thing. They're basically going back to a place that they know very well. So they're going to come through the hatch, stretch their legs, and they'll be ready to get to work right away. But there's a relief. There's that feeling of just, okay, we're here. Let's relax for a little bit. Let's enjoy our new home and grab some dinner, and then they'll probably head off to bed.
Well, like we said, just kind of another day at the office for these guys, but as always, you're riding a rocket, you're going into space. Very exciting. Reed, thanks so much for hopping on with me real quick. Really appreciate it.
Great to be here.
And we're going to go back to our coverage now, just about 23 minutes away from launch.
23 minutes, liftoff. Vidare testa kvällskönt. Oh, some kind of weird glitch. Well, there's a Soyuz.
Well, who are you talking to?
I'm recording a video, remember?
Oh, you're still recording?
Yes, I'm recording until liftoff. Until the engine shut down.
Why?
Excess oxygen continuing
What?
to
Do you think
vent out.
any... Because I do.
Just said about 22 minutes now away from launch. Scott Kelly, Gennady Padalkin, Mikhail Kornienko seated and ready to go towards the International Space Station. One of those crew members, Kornienko, going to be staying on board for an entire year along with Scott Kelly, who's going to be making his second flight up today towards the International Space Station. Why don't we take a look now at some of his inspirations that led him to becoming a cosmonaut.
Наверное, это история из моего детства, когда мы жили в семье военного, летчика военного, который занимался спасением и поиском первых космонавтов. Это были 60-е годы, и прилетая с поиска, он приносил с собой всякие разные сувениры, и, конечно, это на меня очень повлияло. То это примерно то же самое, что сейчас. Это бортовые рационы питания летчики, там космонавты летчикам дарили. Парашюты разовые были, такие очень красивого цвета, оранжевого. И отец привозил такие отрезы, как бы ткани. Мама шила из них себе юбки, очень красивые. У меня один кусочек вот такого парашюта, он до сих пор лежит, и это как святыня с тех пор. Вот примерно так. То есть осталось, конечно, очень хорошие, добрые воспоминания из детства, но они переросли в ответственность и в желание сделать работу хорошо.
Okay. I think it's Padalka's second time going to the ISS. Not Padalka, sorry.
Михаил Корниенко. Очень рад
Mikhail.
всех вас видеть. Спасибо за внимание.
Him. Mikhail Kornienko. He's going to be one of the one-year crew members. And he's Russian, that should explain. Mikhail Kornienko.
So
Oh, 19 minutes until
now,
launch.
we continue to count down towards launch, under 20 minutes.
Well, at least you
now.
don't have to pronounce Alexander Samakutiayev.
The Soyuz is still sitting there on the pad
See?
At the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Today's launch marking the 7th time that a Soyuz vehicle is scheduled to dock to the orbiting complex in just on the same day. It's actually docking after only 4 orbits, which takes roughly 6 hours after today's launch. Just about 2 minutes and 48 seconds before launch, the International Space Station is going to fly directly over the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. And then at the time of the launch, the station will be flying at an altitude of about 257 statute miles, just over the northeastern part of Kazakhstan. Launch is precisely timed for the exact moment when the Earth's rotation will be able to place Baikonur in the plane of the orbit for the International Space Station. At the time of the spacecraft's actual orbital insertion, about 9 minutes after launch, the space station will be about 2,015 statute miles ahead as the chase begins. The planned 6-hour rendezvous will culminate with docking again to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the space station at 8:36 p.m. Central Time tonight, 7:36 a.m. Moscow time, and 10:36 a.m. in Baikonur tomorrow, where again Russian and American dignitaries, guests, and family members will be standing by and watching the events unfold on television. Should a problem occur during the first 2.5 hours of flight, vehicle and its crew will default to the 2-day rendezvous, which used to be standard some time ago. And with that case, the docking would occur in the early evening hours Central Time on Sunday, March 29th. And continuing to take a look at the live view of the rocket on the launch pad. Just under 18 minutes now away before launch. Liftoff still scheduled at 2:42 p.m. Central Time. And a group of NASA representatives are over there in Baikonur, just a short distance away from the pad. For a quick update on all the activities, why don't we go now to NASA Public Affairs Officer Rob Navius.
Dan, years in the making, the year-long mission is about to begin here in the Central Asian desert. A mission that has attracted dozens of members of the media and officials from the very top of both NASA and the newly restructured Russian Federal Space Agency. NASA is represented here for this historic launch by its administrator, Charles Bolden, Bill Gerstenmaier, the Associate Administrator for Human Exploration, and ISS Program Manager Mike Sofrodini. The new head of Roscosmos, Igor Komarov, is here as well. Bolden and Komarov met over dinner last night to discuss the upcoming mission and future station operations. Every launch from here has a special sense, a special feeling. But this one is more than that. Guests, family members, senior officials, all very aware that two men, an American and a Russian, are about to start a year in space together with Mars on their minds, flying together over the 40th anniversary of Apollo Soyuz and the 15th anniversary of the permanent human occupancy of the International Space Station, something that would have been unheard of a few short decades ago. So, a year in space for Scott Kelly and Mikhail Kornienko begins shortly, and the atmosphere here is electric. Dan, that's it for now from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan.
You see the two.
Now back to you at Mission Control in Houston.
Well, you can see the two large countries there.
And a big thanks again to Public Affairs Officer Rob Navius over there in Baikonur. Also, just about a week ago, he had an opportunity to interview both of the one-year crew members, Scott Kelly and Mikhail Kornienko, about their thoughts on leaving the Earth for a full year and all the benefits that they're going to be looking forward to with this historic study. So why don't we take a look?
It's so intriguing to try to put through your mind what you must be going through right now mentally as we approach launch. The couple of years in the making of training, all that goes into being away from the planet for a year. What is going through your mind as you approach launch?
Well, it's clearly a different experience than my previous 3 flights. And let me explain why. My first flight, it was the first time I was flying in space. You know, you're very excited about it, something you've maybe dreamed about for a really long time. And it was something brand new. I had never done it before. My second flight was also a new experience because I was going to be the commander of the space shuttle to the space station. And my third flight was on the Soyuz for a long-duration flight to the space station. So again, you know, something that was a brand new experience, and you're very excited about it. And I wouldn't say I'm not excited about this, but it's very similar to my last flight, except it'll be, you know, more than twice the duration, so harder. So, you know, because of that, it's definitely a different feeling. You know, I'm not, I guess I could say I'm not as excited as I was the previous 3 times, only because they were going to be completely new experiences for me.
Do you, in your mind, have pages on a calendar that are floating around? Like, are you thinking about milestones already?